Shiva Purāṇa Chapter 2. The Liberation of Devarāja. In the ancient city of Pratiṣṭhāna, nestled deep within a land of devout worshippers and sacred temples, there lived a Brahmin named Devarāja. But unlike the learned and pious Brahmins revered in his society, Devarāja was a man of deep vices and wicked inclinations. Poverty-stricken and estranged from the ways of the scriptures, he found his solace not in the hymns of the Vedas, but in the vile pursuit of wealth through unscrupulous means. Devarāja had long abandoned the daily prayers and sacred rituals that defined the life of a true Brahmin. Instead, he devoted himself to the art of deception, cunningly cheating those who trusted him, be they Brahmins, Kṣatriyas, Vaisyas, or even Sudras. With his heart hardened by greed, he amassed wealth through trickery, theft, and even murder, his actions steeped in the most heinous of sins. One fateful day, as Devarāja wandered near a tranquil lake, he encountered Śobhāvatī, a harlot of unparalleled beauty. Captivated by her allure and charmed by her sweet words, Devarāja fell deeply in love. He resolved to make her his own, and she, enticed by his wealth, readily agreed. Together they indulged in every vice imaginable, from the forbidden pleasures of intoxication to the consumption of impure foods, sinking deeper and deeper into the abyss of sin. Though his family, his mother, father, and even his first wife, pleaded with him to abandon his wicked ways, Devarāja was blinded by his infatuation with Śobhāvatī. Their words fell on deaf ears. His descent into darkness reached its peak one dreadful night when, in a fit of uncontrollable rage, he murdered his own parents and wife as they slept, seizing their wealth to lavish upon his beloved harlot. Time passed, and Devarāja continued his sinful existence, his soul blackened by his actions. But destiny had other plans. One day, by sheer chance, Devarāja arrived in the holy city of Pratiṣṭhāna. There, in the midst of his wayward journey, he stumbled upon a temple dedicated to Lord Śhiva, where a gathering of saintly men was taking place. Curious, and perhaps driven by a spark of something long buried within him, Devarāja entered the temple. As he sat in the sacred space, an intense fever suddenly overcame him, a burning fire that seemed to sear through his very soul. For the next month he was bedridden, his body racked with pain. Yet in his weakened state he heard something that would change his fate forever. The discourse on Lord Śhiva, delivered by a devout Brahmin. The words of the discourse seeped into Devarāja's consciousness, purifying the layers of sin that had encrusted his soul. And then one day he died, his body succumbing to the fever that had plagued him. His spirit, however, did not find peace. As he drew his last breath, Yama's attendants, the fearsome minions of the god of death, appeared before him, ready to drag his sinful soul to the depths of Naraka, the hellish realms where sinners are tormented. But as they bound Devarāja with their nooses and began their journey to Yama's city, a miraculous event occurred. From the heights of Sivaloka, the abode of Lord Śhiva, descended four radiant beings, Shiva's own attendants dressed in white and adorned with garlands of Rudraksha beads. Their bodies were smeared with sacred ash, and they carried tridents that glowed with divine power. These divine messengers, embodying the grace and mercy of Lord Śhiva, confronted Yama's attendants with fury in their eyes. With a single strike, they scattered the forces of death, liberating Devarāja from their clutches, placing him upon a resplendent aerial chariot. They ascended toward Kailasa, the sacred mountain where Lord Śhiva and goddess Parvati resided. The tumult caused by this divine intervention echoed through Yama's city, causing the god of death himself to emerge from his palace. Though he was the judge of all souls, even Yama dared not challenge the will of Śhiva. Instead, he bowed in reverence to the messengers, acknowledging the supreme authority of the great Lord. And so, Devarāja, the Brahmin who had once wallowed in the filth of his sins, was taken to Kailasa. There he was brought before Śhiva, the compassionate Lord, and Parvati, the Divine Mother. The mere hearing of the Śiva Purāṇa, the sacred text glorifying the deeds of Lord Śhiva, had cleansed Devarāja of his sins, transforming him from a sinner to a liberated soul. Thus, Devarāja was granted the supreme honor of residing in the abode of Sadasiva, the ultimate seat of liberation, where he would dwell for eternity, free from the cycle of birth and death. The tale of Devarāja stands as a testament to the boundless mercy of Lord Shiva, who offers salvation even to the most wretched of souls. It is said that merely hearing this story, drawn from the Shiva Purāṇa, is enough to purify the heart and lead one toward the path of righteousness, no matter how deep the darkness in which they have strayed.